In I Want to Be Strong, the fifth episode of Kaiju no 8's second season, the stakes escalate dramatically following the brutal confrontation at the Defense Force headquarters. The episode opens with the horrifying aftermath of Director General Isoshinamiya's defeat, as Kaiju no 9 absorbs him along with the powerful number 2 suit, transforming into an even more formidable entity brimming with unprecedented destructive potential. This absorption isn't just a power-up, it's a visceral, gut-wrenching moment that underscores the Kaiju's insidious intelligence and adaptability, turning what was already a nightmarish foe into something bordering on unstoppable. Kafka Ebino, our ever-relatable protagonist who is still grappling with his dual identity as both human and kaiju, teams up with the intense 1st Division Captain Gen Narumi in a desperate bid to turn the tide. Their assault is frantic and raw, filled with high-octane clashes where Kafka's monstrous strength collides with Narumi's precise, blade-wielding fury. They manage to corner no. 9, pushing the beast to its limits, but the catcher comes at a razor-thin margin, leaving everyone battered and the victory feeling pathetic at best. The animation here shines in depicting the chaos, debris flying, energy blasts ripping through the facility, and the sheer physicality of the combat making every punch and slash feel weighty. As the dust settles, the narrative shifts to the emotional fallout. News of Isar's death ripples across Japan like a shockwave, plunging the nation into a collective mourning laced with fear for what's next. The atmosphere thickens with a palpable sense of dread as civilians huddle in shelters, media broadcasts, summary reports, and the Defense Forces ranks are visibly shaken. Key characters step into the spotlight amid this turmoil. Kikoru Shinomiya, Isar's daughter and a prodigious fighter herself, confronts her grief head-on, vowing in a heartfelt internal monologue to become stronger to honor her father's legacy and protect those around her. It's a poignant character beat that humanizes her beyond her combat prowess, revealing layers of vulnerability beneath her tough exterior. Narumi, too, steels himself with a quiet resolve, his usual bravado giving way to a more introspective determination to lead in this new era of uncertainty. Meanwhile, Kafka faces his own reckoning. Having unleashed his kaiju form to aid in the battle, he now contends with the price of his power, hints of physical strain, moral dilemmas, and the ever-looming threat of exposure or loss of control. The episode weaves in flashbacks to Kafka's aspirations, contrasting his humble beginnings as a cleanup crew member with his current burdensome abilities, adding depth to his arc. Supporting characters like Vice Captain Sashiro Hoshino provide grounding moments, offering tactical insights and subtle encouragement, while the broader Defense Force ensemble reacts with a mix of admiration and suspicion toward Kafka's contributions. The overall atmosphere is one of tense transition, from explosive action to summer reflection, blending the series' signature monster mayhem with quieter, character-driven introspection that builds anticipation for the conflicts ahead. Production IG continues to deliver on the visual front in this episode, maintaining the high standards set in Season 1 while pushing boundaries in the action sequences. The animation during the Kafka Narumi tag team assault on Kaiju no 9 is a standout, with fluid motion capture that makes the Kaiju's grotesque transformations feel organic and terrifying, tendrils writhing, armor cracking, and energy surges lighting up the screen in vibrant blues and reds. The character designs remain sharp and expressive. Kafka's hybrid form is rendered with meticulous detail, his muscular frame and glowing eyes conveying both power and inner turmoil without relying on over-the-top effects. Narumi's swordplay is a highlight, each swing animated with precise choreography that echoes classic mech influences, adding a rhythmic intensity to the fights. That said, the episode isn't without its flaws in execution. While the big battles are impeccably paced, some transitional scenes feel a tad rushed, particularly the nationwide news montage, which could have benefited from more varied crowd reactions to heighten the emotional impact. The background environments, especially the ruined headquarters, are detailed but occasionally suffer from static shots that don't fully exploit the destruction scale. Think crumbling walls that look impressive in wide angles but lose texture up close. On the praise side, the sound design elevates everything: the bone-crunching impacts, the eerie hum of no. 9's absorption process, and the swelling orchestral score during resolutions create an immersive experience. Character animations in quieter moments, like Kikoru's tear-streaked face during her vow, are handled with subtlety, avoiding melodrama while still packing an emotional punch. Overall, the animation strikes a solid balance between spectacle and subtlety, though it could afford to linger more on the human elements to match the series' growing thematic depth. I Want to Be Strong serves as a pivotal turning point for Kaiju no 8, blending heart-pounding action with genuine character development in a way that feels earned and engaging. It's an episode that doesn't shy away from the consequences of its high-stakes world, delivering a mix of triumph and tragedy that leaves you rooting for the underdogs while pondering the costs of strength. Praise is due for how it humanizes its cast. Kikoru's arc, in particular, adds a fresh layer of motivation that could propel the series forward, though the capture of no. 9 feels a bit abrupt, potentially setting up future twists that might undercut the tension if not handled carefully. On the constructive side, the episode occasionally leans too heavily on internal monologues for exposition, which can disrupt the flow, but this is minor compared to its strengths in building emotional investment. Overall, it's a strong installment that reinforces why Kaiju no 8 stands out in the crowded kaiju genre: smart storytelling, relatable heroes, and visuals that pop. Looking ahead, I'm excited to see how the Defense Force rebounds, especially with Kafka's secrets bubbling to the surface and new threats looming. If Season 2 maintains this momentum, it could elevate the series to must-watch status, though I'd love more exploration of side characters to round out the ensemble. A solid 8.5 out of 10, intense, introspective, and impossible to look away from.